2022 in the books. Stefan Peter Hansel gets his 49th stage victory, one off Ari Vatanen. Greetings and salutations, race fans, motorsport lovers and others, and welcome to Raceday's interpretation of Dakar 2022, the South African influence. I'm joined in studio by champion, rally and cross-country co-driver Elvine Fonk. Thanks a lot for coming in.
No, thank you for the invite.
And you've been following and doing stuff, and you're helping on admin on one of the groups.
Yes, I'm a numbers girl.
So you know what's happened today?
Yeah.
Okay, no. And we joined in the southern tip of Africa, close to the ocean, by Steffi Vetter, of the Southern African Dakar group. It was a crazy day on the bikes, Steffi, and I wore my blue shirt just for the leader of the overalls today.
Hello, Carl. Hello, Elvine. It's so lovely to see you again. Brilliant to have you in studio. Colin, what a day. What a day. I mean, Ricky and Nacho errors. Matthias falls off the bandwagon. Adrien snaps control of the leaderboard again. Toby wins the stage. Love the orange. Oh, there's so much to talk about.
It was an absolutely amazing race. And, dear viewers, you have your proxy back today in close to the wild suburb of Melville. Andrew Horndog is in his study. Thank you very much for taking time out and sitting in your wing back chair, sipping on a cold drink, Andrew. We've got a busy day for you today.
Tell me about it. I think we've got a hangover of busy from yesterday's show, because that was awesome, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. Right, let's just cap on the order. We're going to have a quick interpretation of what happened during the day, a quick overview from each of us and what we found quite exciting. Steffi will run through the stuff on the bikes. I'll try and talk about the cars, the trucks, and a classic. And our competition from yesterday, 10 Years of Dakar book that's autographed by everybody who was in South Africa for the launch. Nasser's in here, Janelle, Leroy, Rob Howie, the whole gang. This is a valuable artifact. I asked the question, how many Dakars has Hall Speed competed in? I consulted with Glenn Hall last night. You still got until tomorrow to answer. We haven't got a correct answer. However, if you believe you've got the answer right, justify it. List the years. No more guessing. Right, let's go into, and we've got a special auction. A very, very special auction. Yesterday we said, but we'll talk about it later, do a random act of kindness. Somebody did. It certainly pays off. Right, today's action. I think, Steffi, you kick us off, because as per usual, the bikes open the road. And what happened, and an overview on the bikes from you, Steffi?
You know what, Colin, today was always going to be another attack day, but big news of the day is another fallen by the wayside. So we've already lost Rossi, our beloved Kalahari Ferrari, but then at 134 kilometers today, Kevin Benavides, one of KTM's top guns, has a mechanical. Sayonara, baby, he's out. There goes his chase for the lead, the top of the podium. And you have to then wonder what strategy is going to come into play, because they're going to see each other after neutralization. There's going to be strategy, cat and mouse going on. Then it was a bit of a dismal day for Honda. But it's really great because they have ended up. Have Pablo and Joan Barreda aboard, both getting pinged for what we are saying is speeding penalties, who also tumbled down from where they finished. Sam is and snatches back the lead again. So Adrien Van Beveren's back on top step, and we're going to come back to that because there's a very interesting scenario that I want to go through, looking at Sam Sunderland on the gas, and Adrien Van Beveren, the Yamaha. And I think it started a really good train of conversation with others. Mason was brilliant again today. Danilo was brilliant again today. I have to say, I'm not sure if the strategy is coming into play and they wanted to end up where they are so they can attack tomorrow, but it was crazy. I mean, at one stage, Matthias Walkner lost 7 minutes 23 4 seconds to Pablo Quintanilla. I mean, that is massive. He actually fell off the podium, but we're going to go through the results later. This is just a quick, let's have a look at what's going on, because so much went down today. Our boys all had a very solid day. We'll come back to Bradley, we'll come back to Stuart and guys in original bimodal. But I'd actually prepared everything, and all of a sudden, penalty after penalty after penalty came in, and Pablo tumbled out of the picture. Joan Barreda tumbled out of the picture. Overall standings changed. So we got a lot to talk about. What happened with the cars? Because I'm breathless from the bikes.
But before we go to the cars, I've got a theory about the bikes, which we'll get to, and that today was more important than tomorrow, because Friday is just Mickey Mouse. Friday is short, so I think today is the day. But, you know, I know nothing about bikes. I barely know a little
Hit
bit
me
about
with your
cars.
best shot, Colin.
Luckily, I've got Elvine here with me, but let me give you my shot, and I think that it's the second 1-2 for Audi. Not as good as the 1-2-3 that Toyota had yesterday, but in my mind, absolutely significant that they got another 1-2. They couldn't have done it yesterday because the stage was a little bit long. They've got a 300-litre fuel tank, so on the short stages, they're quick. They can wind the generator in the boot up and run on maximum revs or maximum power. On the longer stages, they've got to back that down. So I don't see them featuring tomorrow when we go into the soft sand, but on Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a 1-2-3 from Audi just to grandstand and get the PR value.
And they might shorten the stage on Friday, hey?
It's 180 odd Ks.
Yeah.
If you shorten it to 100, it's not really going to make some difference.
Yeah,
Or
we
what do
need
you
all
think?
the kilometers, eh? We need all the kilometers for all the guys that lost time today.
Tomorrow's their day.
But the fat lady hasn't sung.
Yeah, this thing is far, far from over. Henk Latergan again, he came in fourth. What a strong run he's having, and as the experience goes up, I'll say it again, that Oak is going to win Dakar very, very soon. Janelle came in 15th, a little bit probably disappointing, but I think overall from today, the thing that I get from it is Audi and ProDrive. Those are the two things that... What did you think? What is your just headline of today?
I think the BRX is going, and I think it will be a car to match next year if they don't have trouble and stuff. So there's a lot of Toyotas, and they will sought after. A little bit of mechanic issues this year, but I think the BRX, will
If
be
they
the
can
car
get
to
the
beat.
suspension all nice and strong,
Yeah,
I think it's going to be...
and the tire change sorted.
We'll talk about the tire change, because let us do that right now.
Elvin, did you see our tire change?
I did.
Just
You
on
did
that
it
topic.
completely wrong. You did it completely
It was
wrong.
2 minutes,
I
the
knew
first
that.
No,
time
you
we did
didn't
it.
even took the wheel off. That's the hardest part.
No, the
of
wheel
it.
did come off.
No, you didn't
We
take the
rolled
spare.
it.
I saw that. You did it completely wrong.
It was
and
an
that's-
imaginary spare
Rob
wheel.
gave
Come on,
his
give us
input.
a
He said
gap. Ah,
okay.
no, man.
Okay. Nice
Oh.
effort, though. Nice effort.
We showed you the picture of Nasser and Matthew Baumel doing a very quick pit stop, tire change, and then the Hunter taking some time to get back in the car. Well, apparently it turned out that the time that the Hunter was stationary was because they were doing up their seatbelts, which it appears from the video footage that the spy cam that's in each of the cars that it took about 1 minute 45 for them to get buckled in the Toyota, so they got a penalty. But it doesn't really make that much difference because they're so far in the lead. But, so there's quick overview. Let's talk about bikes, Steffi, and you just love these blooming things. I think the way they move across the desert, the way these guys, they are true, absolute true warriors. And Bradley Cox didn't have a happy day today, but Toby Price did.
You know, Colin, I think today was, I think it was harder than we thought. It was It was enormously fast, and in the one, the same story between the bikes and the cars, there was some seriously tricky navigation. So Nacho's hoping to just limit damage limitation today. He is opening the road. Well, he failed miserably. He ended in 25th position because he got lost. But then you have to think to yourself, are they playing strategy? Let's really think about this. So Ricky and Nacho get lost, right? But Matthias also loses time. Matthias, so are they consolidating or are they planning an attack tomorrow? I am super stoked that Toby won the stage. I'm seriously really upset that Kevin Benavides, because Kevin Benavides was an absolute contender, and their defense is almost out the window now because I think it's a stretch too far for Toby on the overall. But brilliant to see that he did finish in first and won the stage. You've also got, we thought that Quintanilla was coming to the fore, Pablo Quintanilla. He was flying at one stage, but then he tumbled down because he got pinged for speeding. So he ended up in 15th. He was originally, correct me if I'm wrong, right up in 9th, which would have been a great starting position for tomorrow. So what you've got is the GC, the stage results are phenomenal. The GC gets turned on its head. So you've got Toby Price in first place on the K, your beautiful orange shirt. 3 hours, 3 hours and 32 seconds, right? Luciano Benavides comes in on the Husky. So now he's only 2 minutes, 9 seconds. So look at your overall. There's 10 minutes again, but it's right up until the 15th place. You've got Adrien van Beveren, who is as solid and as consistent as a rock. I mean, Adrien is having a really great Dakar, 3:35 off the leader, with Lorenzo Santolino right there again in the Sherco 540 behind Toby. Stefan, so the privateer on the Slavnat, he's there every day. We talk about him. He's doing a phenomenal job. And then today, because the penalties came in for Joan Barreda and for Pablo Quintanilla, everybody kind of moved up a place or two. So Machiez Guillem's on the all-in. He's right up there in the mix. Rui Gonzalez comes back into the mix on the Sherco. Then Joan Barreda is pinged down to 9th place. And then you've got Martin Nietzsche on the Orion. Danilo, your boy in orange. Hello. In 11. Showing the way.
I mean,
Mason in 12. Can we talk about this boy enough?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
You just love him because every year, Steffi, you find a cutie, and he becomes your little cutie for the race. But you pick them quite good.
You mustn't forget, I've been following Mason for 2 years, and I always knew that this boy had something special. And he's absolutely just taken this Dakar by its neck and stepped up to the plate. Good for him. I think he's doing a phenomenal job. Especially happy for Aaron Murray today. Came in 13th place. So, you know, I don't think he's had an easy Dakar. He actually came in before J-Rod. Joachim Rabi came in right after his teammate. So it was a showing for Hero today again. And again, then Pablo and Ricky. This is interesting. 14, 15, 14, 15, 16. So they're in a phenomenal position to protect Quintanilla and the boys tomorrow. So, the Hondas they've got a strategy. We're not really sure where they're going with it. I don't think it was planned. I don't think that was intentional. But Sam had a bit of a dismal day, 19th. And as I say, Nacho Corneo, he got lost, had nav issues, and down to 25th. But Matthias Walkner in 27th on stage. That was an absolute shocker. I could never have called it if you'd paid me good money this morning. I really, I would never have seen that coming.
It's put him back in 4th in the overalls, and it's maybe, you were saying it might be a little bit one too much. I suppose you'd have to say that Barreda 10, 11 minutes off the lead, that's about as far as you can go. I mean, Toby Price, 27 minutes off. He's not going to be in it unless Pooh really hits a fan.
No, he's not going to be in it. But Matthias is only 8.5 minutes off Adrien van Beveren. So, tomorrow, if you look at the elastic band snapping today, it can happen again tomorrow. The race is not over yet.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow, there's a setup, Yamaha, Gas, Honda, KTM. There's 4 bikes, top 4. You know, gone are the days where you had KTM from 1 to 37th overall. It's way gone. So you've now got a 4-way shootout for the lead with 2 Hondas and 2 KTMs sort of in the mix. I've still got my blue shirt on.
I'm wearing blue tomorrow. I'm going to wear blue tomorrow. I just want to quickly talk about our boys, though. I mean, Brad Cox came in 30th. We'll have a listen to Brad. Fritz, do you want to play what Brad had to say about today? Because it is super interesting, especially after the disastrous day he had yesterday.
Everyone, when I'm done this interview, Spielberg Elf can give you what the bike looks like without plastics on it. So yeah, the signal was terrible when we got here, but they went and put up a tower. So the phone company STC, we all have a SIM card from them. Well, we had to pay for it. They come to the bivouac and put up a tower. So we're firing away now. So yeah, I sent in the voice note, but I'll just do a quick video. Yeah, really good day. My speed was good. I was like in the top 15, top 20, kind of all the way till the refuel. Small little error before the refuel, but a lot of guys couldn't find that WPC, so I think it leveled out. And then yeah, got going again, and yeah, just made a small error in a canyon. I stayed a little bit too left. Kind of questioned myself because I was on the right track, and then I thought I was not on the right track, so I jumped off that track and went down another track, and then I was wrong. So lost 10 minutes, so that was a bit of a bummer in terms of results. I mean, I went from I think 18, 20 to 30, so but anyway, back in the top 30, so happy with that. And two more days. Tomorrow is a big day in terms of it's dunes like the whole day, which is cool for me because I really like the dunes. And yeah, just I think tomorrow is like our last big push. I think the last stage is not going to be too crazy. It's just 160 k's, and I think it'll be very basic. So yeah, tomorrow is the last big push. Yeah. Anyway, let's Spielberg off. Take it away.
Paul, you added again. What have you put? A new front sprocket, I see. You put some chain guards.
Yeah, new injector, new chain.
A new injector as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too much. I don't want to climb up the pots.
He doesn't want to have to be number one.
want to win.
Paul, be careful. No, Paul. He doesn't want to win the parts bull. He doesn't want to be the best.
All right.
So just take it easy, okay? Two more days. Don't go crazy.
I will do my best.
Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Into it.
Yeah, I got Ness. I got Ness.
We'll come back to that one. There's a sneak preview that we've got, but Steffi, the budget always comes into it. You know, particularly when you're running on a tight string, but to put some extra parts in it to get a lot higher, and Bradley really needs a strong race tomorrow, and that stage tomorrow, the 346 k's, just read what they say. The biggest technical challenge in the final part of the rally. Half of the stage on dunes of all shapes and sizes, including the softest one that the desert has in it. And there'll be lots of holes. There's going to be the possibility of big time moving. Steffi, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think David Castere is going to throw the kitchen sink at them tomorrow. If they think it's been bad now, when you see soft sand, and everybody's been saying every day, super soft sand, and they say it in the actual description, you're like, how much softer can this sand get? You know, we've seen people digging themselves out on a daily basis. Let's talk Sharon Moore, though, because Sharon is also having a great Dakar. And Sharon, if you're watching, or Stuart, if you guys are out there, love interview you, because Sharon is a crossover rider coming from a completely different genre of bike riding into cross country rally, and he's absolutely smashing it. Bring it on. Sharon, we interview you, give us a shout. But Andrew, have you got a question for us?
I do, Steffi. I've actually got a couple for you. I've got Reno Wilson asking, what does one need to do to take part in the Malimoto class? In terms of licensing and experience, and I know you help the guys get over there, and maybe you can answer that one for us. I'm not sure if you can. And then we had another question from Angelo asking if we've got any info on quads, but we don't have any South African competitors in the quad class, so I'll be honest, we haven't been following it. I'm really sorry about that.
No, look, we did follow quads in 216 because obviously Brian Baragwanath podiumed, he came third, but we haven't actually had a quad rider participating for years. Getting back to the Malamoto, you know, even whether you're a rider or doing cross country and you're going to do because it's way better because it's way less expensive going. You prepare it and with the bears and the Felden. You need the experience, the navigation. You need to learn the basics because you can't go there without experience. It doesn't matter whether you just want to go and do the Dakar, you still have to be a rider. But we've got plenty of opportunity in this country to do that. You've got the Tankwa cross country, you've got the Karoo, the Kalahari rally, you've got the Karoo roadbook training camp. So there's plenty of opportunity to learn because you need that experience and you need time and navigation training. So give us a shout. We can hook him up with all the right people.
That's the best advice ever that you can give. Anybody who wants
they get in touch
to go and do bikes, get hold of Steffi.
Yeah, get in touch on the Southern African Dakar group. Pop Steffi a direct message and she'll try and point you in the right direction. So I hope that answers your question, Rainer.
You had a second question, Andrew?
The word was about the quads, which we can't answer.
Okay, well, we just so we can tell you that Alexander Giraud on a Yamaha Racing SMX Dragon. So he's dragging his bike all over the desert. He is leading 42 hours 21. And then Francesco Moreno, also from the Dragon rally team, is in second position. Kamil Wisniewski from Poland is third. So there you go. We've done our commitment to the quads, and it looks like that I'll tell you the winner. If Alexander Giraud finishes, he's 2 hours 43 minutes ahead of Francisco Moreno.
Wow.
Kind of done, and there you go. So we might bring quads into the wrap up. We spoke about. I haven't looked at the trucks for 2 days, but let me guess, Kamaz is first, second, and third, and Snotikov is in the lead. So there we go. Now we've done trucks. Can we get to the frickin' cars, please? Or do we still need to do overalls of the bikes? Okay, let's finish the bikes.
No, we still have to do the bikes. Because we've only got one Motswana left in the race, and that's John Kelly, and John had a solid day again today. We've got Walter Van and Paolo still bringing up the doing what they have to do to medal. Stuart looked a whole lot better. I'd really like to have a look at that vid of Stuart, Fritz, if you've got it, because I was really worried about him yesterday. He looked exhausted, and he did send us an update. Can we roll that tape?
Hi, hello, stage number 10. How was today?
Yeah, kind of enjoyed it. I had some fun. So yeah, some good fun valley, some good scenery and that. Only thing I was stuck in a lot of dust all day. Most of the day I was in dust, but yeah, one of my better days. I kind of enjoyed it and had fun, and we're almost by the finish, so feeling good.
You are in the original by Motul category. Tell me about the experience.
Yeah, we've got to go off and work on the bikes now. So yeah, it's been tough. It's a little bit harder than everyone else because we've got to work on our bikes. But yeah, it's been good. Enjoyed it, and yeah, looking forward to the finish.
Thank you.
He's looking a lot better than he did yesterday, hey?
Such a good job. Yeah, so much better. He obviously had a good night's sleep. He didn't have as many issues. He got over his disappointment of the penalties and just refocused, rejigged, eyes on it. You know, that's what they're there for. Should we quickly run through the overall, Cole?
Go for it, Steph.
Okay, so
who's in first
obviously
place?
I'm super... Oh, I don't know. Let me think. Blue, Yamaha, Adrien van Beveren.
There you go.
I'm super excited for that. He's having a really solid challenge tomorrow night because I'm out of time. So stay tuned, guys. This is super interesting. Pablo Quintanilla, sorry, that was fun, has dropped down to third with Sam Sunderland in second on the gas. Joanne Bereda dropped to fifth with Matthias Volkner in fourth. So there's been a whole switcheroo in those top four. And 8.5 minutes between them, absolutely nothing. You've got Toby Price. Kiki said earlier, it's a stretch too far. Maybe we can't actually jinx that. Andrew Short on the Yamaha as well in 7th. Mason Klein moves up to 8th. He's really wringing its neck. Ricky Brabeck in 9th, Nacho in 10th, Nacho Corneo on the Hondas. Then you've got the Shirko of Lorenzo Santolini, and then Stefan Svitko on the Slavne. You know, it's still a turkey shoot. It's absolutely a shoot. It's any man.
Well, I'm looking at 16th position, and I see there's Aaron Murray, that's a damn good result for him.
You know what? He's had 2 or 3 solid days, Colin. So he's slowly just made his way up that GC, and he finds himself in. You know, he's an hour and 17 behind the leader, but that's, you know, he's lying 16 GC, which is phenomenal. Your boy Danilo is lying 29, and then our guys, I mean, they're in the 30s, 40s, and 80s. So you've got Brad in the top 30, Charon in the top 30, top 40, JK in the top 50. And then the rest of the guys from there. It's phenomenal. Super, super proud of them.
It's going to be a day and a half of really, really exciting racing. But you forgot about the Mali Motors and the position in the Mali Motors and the kids. What are the rookies?
Our children in the Malamoto. So Charon is lying 4th overall, JK 7th, Stuart 12th, and Badner 22nd. So they are still there and thereabouts. I hope that Sharon gets onto the podium. I really do. I think it's a stretch too far for JK.
Yeah, Sharon's 9 minutes off. That's just doable. It was just hanging on the current.
It's doable.
They call it hanging the cable.
It's a tough category. Yeah, you know, Benji Melo, the guys are really super. They've been there for years. They've done this. This is in their blood. And, you know, as Sharon is a debutant, it's really incredible.
And the first timers?
The first time is obviously Mason. I mean, Mason's smashing it, and with Bradley having his day yesterday, I think it's a stretch too far as well. But get the experience. He's learning so much. He's got Alfie Cox there, his dad. He said today, "I want to do this. This is what I want to do." We're going to see him there for many, many years to come.
But he's only 2 minutes off third. Dago Lanes. You see how it just rolls off the tongue. I mean, he's the Argentina. You know, the Argentina guy, well-known sort of rookie. But there's 2 minutes in it, and, you know, with a good ride, Bradley, with all those new parts that he's got on it, it is going to work. So
yeah, I hope he doesn't push for it. I hope he just stays focused and consistent. It'll come. You know, he might chase it and he might not. But fully focused tomorrow and just let it happen. Go with the flow. Be smooth, fast, and clean.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Steffi, is that it for the bikes? I mean, we've only been going for 28 minutes. I'm surely there's another 40 minutes of content of bikes that you could bring us.
Well, if you gave me another 40 minutes, yes, I could. But I can't wait to hear Alvin. Alvin is a very special competitor athlete friend in my heart, and she's so knowledgeable and going to have the best conversation, because I have to love and leave you. My better half on radio is in Bishop tonight, connection problems, so radio is going to be a stretch tonight.
Steffi, I joke, we could do this whole thing for an hour. Whenever you talk, I learn bucket loads, and I've learned a lot tonight. Thank you again. Go and do your radio stuff. Keep your partner in radio stuff in Saudi happy, and we shall talk in the morning, because it kicks off early and it's going to be a busy day on the bikes. What color shirt should I wear tomorrow night?
And you can wear what you like. I'm behind Russie's team. I'm a good, faithful, loyal. But I think if everybody in the studio wears a different color, we might get it right.
No, I think we've got to put your colors on the mast. I've got my blue shirt on tonight because I believe in the Yamaha. I doubted them in the beginning, and I'll wear my blue shirt again tomorrow just because Yamaha. Steffi, have fun. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Good luck to everybody out there tomorrow.
Well, Andrew,
Cheers,
we
Stevie.
haven't forgotten about you. We are going to, if you've got something, you know how what the drill is, you shout.
I do,
Yes.
funnily enough.
Well,
We have Graham Johnson who's popped up and said it would be interesting to compare the time spent out on the stages, the overall times compared between bikes and cars and the other categories. So I just quickly did that for him. And,
Very good.
the
On the
leader
ball
of the
as
bike
usual.
race... Leader of the bike race has spent 3 hours, 27 minutes and 6 seconds on his bike, whereas the leader of the car race has spent 3 hours, 13 minutes and 37 seconds in his car, and the leader of the truck race has spent 35 hours, 58 minutes and 8 seconds in his cab. So cars and bikes very close, trucks about 2.5 hours slower than those two.
But remember, the bikes had that one
Shortened
stage that was
yeah.
a shortened stage.
Ones, yeah.
But you're right, the trucks, we
That's
looked
true.
at the trucks 3 days ago, and the fastest truck was in 13th position if you had to put trucks and cars together. And
Yep.
the other thing about those trucks is that they're limited to 140 k's an hour, and the cars to 170. So if they can be that close, the accelerations on those things, 2,000 horsepowers, 2 tons, 8 tons, they're lacquer.
No, they're good.
Wouldn't you like to go
I
drive
would
one?
love to.
I would actually like to have one to drive around Pretoria. It'll be the best thing ever. Go,
Really,
go and do
everybody
the
would
tracks.
part way, It's just, you can
I
park
feel
and
like
ride
Moses.
wherever. Yes.
Yeah. Right, let's get serious for a minute. We mentioned that Rob Howie, well, you do know that Rob Howie was in the studio last night, and on the way home, he phoned me and he said, you close off the show with do a random act of kindness. So Rob then said his act of kindness was to donate an overall and a book, some road books. So there's Rob Howie's overall from his 2016 Dakar, where he drove with Lucio Alvarez, and they finished 5th, his highest position ever. And Rob has donated this to a worthy cause. We've decided, in conjunction with Rob, to set up a raffle. So you go and sell the children, go to cash converters, put the car, the washing machine, and all the other stuff that you don't need, so that you can put in a proper bid for this. It's a bit of actual history. And the highest bidder will pay the money, and it will go to a charity. We're busy negotiating with 2 charities, one that does really, really good work, that has got one of that Peter works with and has got some really good stuff. So save up your money and you can win an overall. Keep your questions coming to Andrew Horn, and we're going to start talking about cars at last, hey?
Yes.
And we're waiting for somebody to walk to a truck in Saudi, a camper, to talk to them.
Yeah. So he says he's struggling. The signal is a little bit bad, but he will get connected soon.
And when he gets connected, I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Right, let's go to cars at last, Audis 1, 2, ProDrive 3, Toyota 4, Henk Latergan, Sebi Loeb 5 in the stage. Have a look at that. Nasser down in 7th, but Nasser doesn't have to, the pressure is kind of off Nasser. So he's got the ability to drive. Now let's just talk about the stage a little bit today. They spoke in the bikes about difficult navigation. It was described as a WRC type stage, so there was a lot of track and in canyons. And if you chose the wrong canyon, it was really, really difficult to pass people. And in those canyons, when there's dust, you can see nothing.
Yeah.
And you can't get close to pass.
So the thing about today's stage is there was a lot of sand and not as many dunes, where the dunes don't give you dust.
Yeah.
So the dunes might be big and whatever, it's treacherous to get up there, but the sand is awful.
And then it lingers and you can't see the rocks.
And they say even the bikes are worse to pass because they're just as much dust as what a car would be.
And mixing those two, the bikes and the cars, is never a good thing. We spoke about it with Rob last night, that somehow there's got to be a way, but they're cleverer people than me. They'll find a way. So and Nasser was 7th. On stage day, Janelle down in 15th, and yes, they did get delayed by dust, and there was a slight up the wrong canyon. From the other South African point of view, Brian Barragarneth was 20th and Chris Visser 22nd. You might ask where Shamir and Donnie Stossen were, and they came in 37th, 29 minutes off the lead. And Ernest Roberts was 21 minutes, 21 and a half off the lead. And in my notes, I've got Po Tiang in an SMG. And the reason I'm looking at Po Tiang, who was 41 minutes off the lead, is he's the leading rookie in the car section of Dakar 2022. And it's Ernst Roberts in the Century CR6, who is in second place in the Dakar, in the rookies. And if you go to having a look at it on the overalls, so Po Tiang is 10 hours 49 behind, and Ernest is 15 hours. So looks like Ernest is going to finish second. He's not going to make up 5 hours, but there's a long, long time. Lots can happen in the, 450 or 500 odd kilos of racing.
True.
And these are the nervous times when it's close to the end.
Yeah.
You know what it's like when you...
It's like Shamir and Donnie actually ended up in 23rd today, just behind Chris Visser. And the reason why they went to 39th is because of a 15-minute penalty.
Yeah.
So things can change in an instant.
It was a 15-minute penalty for missing a waypoint.
Yes.
Okay, so talk us through what
So there was a split on the
car.
first waypoint that the car was pushing you more towards the left route, because there was a left route and a right route. So everybody was going left. And the moment that you see that you're not going to make the waypoint, you calculate how far it went. So in Donnie's instance, it was 8 minutes too far. So it took them 8 minutes to go back and then search for the right route, which is a 16-minute thing. So they made the instant decision just to take the 15 minutes and move on.
We had that same discussion. One of the other co-drivers said, well, you don't even wait that long. You decide after 3 minutes of looking, take the penalty.
I mean, that's why Carlos Sainz and them, when they got lost, they looked for the route for 2 hours. They lost 2 hours. So you would rather take the 15 minutes and move on.
But we're sitting here.
Yes, it's much easier.
It's so easy,
much easier in this conditions and this environment.
It's different, you know, when we all know that racing is different, and this is a particularly hard race.
It is a particularly hard race, and which is quite interesting, Colin, is that me and Donnie spoke about it before the event as well. So he's used to having a Simpson, which a lot of the guys drive with. And then
that's the next.
So that's the brace. That's the brace at your back that also clips into your helmet. And then there's a Hans device that is a carbon fiber piece that comes down your shoulders and also clips in. So Donnie is using the Simpson in our cross-country racing series, and I'm using the Hans device. So I said to Donnie, take my Hans device and see which works better for you, because it's always nice to have an option rather to get stuck with one thing and then because with the Simpson there's a lot more movement. For the dunes it is better because you can turn your head much more, so you always have to look for the dune. As a navigator, you need to look for the dune and the peak that it makes to get your car sideways over it. So, and with the Hans device you're very much limited. However, Donnie also says with the Simpson, the only thing that helps with the Simpson is for your whiplash when you do this.
Oh, so it helps because you're sitting with your head down, you're not bracing for all the bumps.
You can't see all the ditches that's coming on the way. So when you can't brace, your head is going forward all the way. So they are having neck and shoulder problems. Where the Hans device is quite effective in the rough stuff because it keeps your neck more still. You can't turn your head as much, but it actually supports better. And we also had that from Janelle. You'll see Janelle also using a Hans device and not the Simpson. So it's quite interesting with the different drivers and the different kit that they're using in the car.
Thanks for the explanation. Oh, I've learned something.
That's very cool.
something more new today. Andrew, you remember you can just jump in and get where you go, do your thing. Hey? Daniel Schroeder came in 1 hour 4, 1 hour 2 minutes behind the leader was Skalkberger in the Century, and Daniel is a great driver, co-driver, kind of experienced the same thing. So we've got a note from Daniel and Ryan, of a little voice, a face thingy, a self-interview thingy. And Peter's going to play them now. And just listen to first Daniel, the driver, and then Ryan, the co-driver. Same day.
Okay, yeah, we're back in the bivouac after stage 10. Yeah, the day was not so good for us. We started quite far back after yesterday's stage and the problems we had with the drive shaft. Yeah, so in the morning we had a lot of dust and we were not so lucky as the other days that we had lots of wind and was pretty mellow. So it took a lot longer to pass the cars, and then also we were in a lot of valleys where there was no wind blowing. We got stuck behind a lot of cars and side-by-sides, many side-by-sides, and so yeah, we lost a lot of time there. And then we had one little time where we almost got stuck with the car, so we had to turn around, maybe lost a minute or two, and then we had one little navigational error just before the neutralization. We also lost a little bit of time. So yeah, every time, when you make a little mistake, something like that, all the cars that you just overtook, you have to overtake them again, and yeah, so that leaves us back in the dust, losing some more time again. Yeah, after the neutralization, we got going, and probably 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers after that, we were in a sandy riverbed. We hit a bunch of sand, and yeah, it all went into the engine, and that made the belt fail again. So yeah, our water pump was not working anymore, and so everything got a little bit hot, and straight away we knew it. We could smell the rubber as well, and yeah, spent 20 minutes, half an hour fixing the car again before we got going, and yeah, straight back after all the slow guys again, losing some more time. And yeah, so we were not very happy with today. Nobody's fault really, but yeah, just bad luck once again. We'll try to salvage some of that tomorrow, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Thanks.
How's it, everyone? Yeah, today was a interesting day. Maybe I was kicked back to last night. I went to bed. Obviously, you guys heard we lost four-wheel drive yesterday, so we changed the shaft out in the dunes and we made the stage. Didn't do too well, so we had to start far back today. But yeah, I went to bed at about 9:30, and the guys were just going through the car in general. They were finishing up, and then Justin took the car for a spin for fuel, and yeah, he wasn't happy with the gearbox. The gearbox was making a noise in the foot, so the guy started at 10 o'clock last night to change the gearbox, and just as a precautionary measure. So they finished at about 2 o'clock this morning with that. Yeah, and we were up this morning into the stage, 263 kLAs on, and then the stage kicked off. The stage wasn't good. We were stuck behind probably 50 side by sides, and the canyons and the course was just so narrow you just couldn't get past. So there was a single track basically, and you just couldn't get past the side by side. So, and there was no wind, so we just ate dust the whole day. Yeah, and then at kilometer 180, we had a small navigation issue. Couldn't find the waypoint. Maybe lost 3 or 4 minutes there, and then we also got stuck on a silly little dune.
Yeah, that drive shaft issue was quite interesting. I spoke to Stuart, and he said that the boot was broken, and you don't want to run a broken booted drive shaft into the desert. But Andrew, I believe you've got a question for Elvine.
I do indeed. You actually don't want to drive a broken booted drive shaft on a racetrack either. I've tried it and it doesn't work. Elvine, a question for you from Simon Rickett. Are the nabs more prone to head and neck injuries because they're more laterally mobile in the cockpit, or is it just because you've got your head down and you're not aware of what's coming?
Of course. It's like Rob also said last night. So him and Janelle also hit a ditch, which he was fiddling with the odos, but he couldn't brace himself, which we find as navigators in even our cross-country series is that you always looks down. You always have your nose in the book because you need to be on top of it and see the cautions and know where you're going. So you have so many instruments ahead of you. So like on Dakar, where you need to read the cap and see if you're heading the right way, and correlating or coordinating the book and the GPS and the odos to one another. So you're always looking down and just you glance up, but you don't see those ditches or the rough or the camel grass. And then when you hit that stuff, you weren't expecting the impact, and that's why we get injured.
Do you do a lot of neck and shoulder exercises just so that?
You have to. It's also about CrossFit training, where you pick up a lot of stuff and stuff. So your shoulders and your arms need to be quite in top shape, and then also a little bit of neck exercises.
What's CrossFit in Afrikaans? Fiksheid?
Nee, ek weet nie. Quite fiksheid. CrossFit.
Fiksheid. I know that the epicenter of CrossFitness in the whole of South Africa is in Fourways.
I just know it's hard work.
Yeah, it is. You take a tire and throw it around.
No, Colin.
A little bit of, cardio in there as well. It makes you sweat a lot.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I think Fourways is the epicenter of fight clubs, not necessarily CrossFit.
Yeah.
We've got another one for Elvine. And Klantla asks, are you going to be back with Neil Woolridge Motorsport this year?
Of course, yes.
Oh, check the shirt she's wearing.
The shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say, the shirt gave it away.
And let me
I'll be back.
We need to ask the question in another way. Would you be able to come in as a guest to the studio next year?
No, I won't be.
Yes, Neil. We knew we'd get the answer out of somebody, but we knew it already.
Okay, next question, T1 or T1 Plus?
No.
T1 Plus.
Is there any question to your question? No, definitely.
Okay.
T1 Plus, T1 Plus.
And
there we go.
I was told by not you. So I don't get all my Ford information from Elvine, but I was told that there's a possibility of 3 cars for the Ford thing. But I would imagine that Neil will tell us that when the time is right.
Well, I can't confirm then.
And you can't deny.
Oh, well, I'm saying nothing now because it's hearsay.
It is, but how wonderful it would be to see you got the Toyota team that will go back again, the Century team, and it's quite amazing the number of inquiries that they've had from people on the race now. A certain Ford driver on Dakar is rumoured to be wanting to build a Century with a Ford engine in it. He might.
Will it have 4-wheel drive though?
No, it'll be. I'm just trying to see where Martin Prokop is. No, he might or might not to put a Ford motor in it. So there's some stuff there. So you've got the Centuries, plus the privateer cars that go.
It took them longer to change that wheel as well, Prokop?
Yeah.
With that whole wheel next to the side.
Yeah, I like that wheel under the
It's
thing.
way faster, It's way faster, and your weight is already on your legs. To get that thing from the ground further out and on, it's much faster to get it from top. I mean, your strength doesn't
and also to
sit
lift
here.
from here to there.
100%. You use your legs
the
and
other
not
one
your
you can
arms.
just like flop it over and push it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you really use your legs.
You can be really, really short to be able
Correct,
to do
or
that.
tiny, or whatever they call it. Yeah, don't have to be a giant.
You can be an anti-giant, but we're not going there because we've got our new creative guy, Lemage. He gets the hell in when we mock him, but we don't. We love him to bits. In the overall, so the gap to Nasser is That's 32 minutes. Remember when it was over 40 minutes? So it's still 32 minutes with 500 Ks racing. You've got to be feeling okay, but a little bit.
So it's 2 days left. So for him, for Nasser and Matteo, they didn't make a mistake this year yet. They really need to focus on just keeping that gap. It's so much easier maintaining the gap from the lead than to chase.
Defend than to attack.
100%. But anything can go wrong. As we said, the fat lady hasn't sung. So for Matteo, it's very important to be on the notes, which of course he is.
And
I
he's
think
focused. He's probably the world's best co-driver at the moment.
100%. I mean, why they got the 5-minute penalty when Nasser wasn't strapped in, he was holding the steering wheel so that Nasser can get strapped in. It's such a oak that looks after his racing driver and is so accommodating.
I can understand it, and I probably, if I was in their position, I would have done exactly the same thing. Keep the car moving while you do all of those things.
100%.
But I can also understand that rule, you've got to have safety things. I mean, 100%. If something goes wrong.
Yeah, and it's not that easy to get that thing slipped in, hey? It's not that easy because there's a whole ritual that needs to happen when you're changing a wheel, because the first thing that you need to do is make sure that your belt's already loosened so that when you get in, you don't suck into yourself to get the thing strapped, because it's basically a 5-point harness. And if one doesn't clip in, you need to undo the whole buckle and redo it again. And that belt straps is so tight because remember, the belt straps keep you in the seat. If it's loose, then your whole body would move around, and that's when the back injury happens. So it's quite a tight fit. The belts that you can fasten quite easily, that's quick. But
it's the hip one.
The hip one, the leg one.
Probably the most important, where it goes over the hip bone. And
it needs to keep you in the seat. Yeah. So it's not that easy to do the belts. That's why you guys were disqualified from your wheel change. But anyways, we can do it again.
We'll do it again. We'll go and do it in the wild, and we'll come to a race and do it absolutely properly. Okay, so there's 32 minutes. But the other thing that Loeb's got to watch is Yazid, who he's 12 minutes behind him. No, not 12 minutes behind him. He's away behind him. But Yazid, anything that happened, 20 minutes, anything happens to Loeb and Yazid is there.
Yeah.
And Hunter really ProDrive wants.
Yeah.
They've got to get high up. And then you've got Terra Nova in fourth also. So there's, to get two of the,
and then I mean, Podolski pumped Janil today, taking away his 5th overall to a 6th.
Yeah, in a Mini.
Yes.
It's about time that they came to the party. So he came right. And then Janil, as you say, is 6th. And Saradori in the Century. Got big shout out for him on 9th overall. I think is absolutely fantastic. Marius Ekstrom, who for me has been the standout driver for the Audis. In 10th, 2 hours 40 minutes. Brian Baragwanath 3:45 off, but Shamir and Dani are 3:44 off. And if we look at their, they've got 55-minute penalties. Now, take that away, and they'd still be in.
They'll be right up there. Yeah. They'll be right up there. So Shamir and Dani's goal is for a top 15, and it's possible. It's
more
really,
than
really
doable
possible.
Because if you look, Peter, you've got that graph, that like a little picture with the red line and the yellow line. So when Peter puts it up, the red line is the overall position per stage, and the yellow line is the the stage position in that actual position. We spoke to Glyn the other day, and he said that he was disappointed with some of Shamir's good finishes, because there's been 1 or 2 little issues and they should have been a little bit higher.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to know how demanding the team managers are, where they don't tolerate little mistakes. You must deliver
you have to push every day. You have to push every day.
But that red line that shows their progression, he's to me
it's right up there. And I mean, what a day for Chris Visser as well today.
Yeah.
He was
And he was flying.
putting in the times there.
Yeah.
So, and he even said today he had a 5-minute time loss of a navigational error. So, but he's going for it. I mean,
and the other thing is that they're settling in. It's never easy going from a 4x4 bakkie to a two-wheel drive truck.
It's not, and he was complaining about the two-wheel drive with the dunes as well, because he's been racing all his life in a four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So now he needs to relearn how to drive this rear-wheel drive, and of course he hasn't spent much time in the dunes, even testing.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 weeks to Dakar. That's when he knew he was going to Dakar.
And he and Rodney haven't done a lot of races together.
They haven't
so the
raced
language,
together. They only
the
tested
language is
together.
different.
It was a whole complete find yourself in the car. So I take my hat off to both of them,
It's
finding
kind of
one
like
another.
an arranged marriage.
Yes, but that was like, you know, a quickie.
2 weeks. 2 weeks notice, pack your bags and go. And,
Yes.
And go and have a.
They met in the car.
It's
quite insane.
Crazy,
It's insane.
But what an opportunity for Chris, and I think that he really has he's delivered the goods. He really has. So I think that's really lekker. And then we've got to shout out to Skulk. Yes, we do cover Skulk every night in the KingPriceXtreme Century, because you might have noticed there's some pictures here and some banners, because KingPriceXtreme have given us the resources to deliver this outstanding quality program with all the information that we get. So yes, it's a big shout out to Century, and thank you for supporting motor racing. So if you, and we say this always, if you look at your shirt, you've got Castrol and Ford on it. So we tell people to support companies that support racing.
Of course,
and if somebody doesn't race, tell them to go and race, otherwise you won't buy their cars or their oil or their petrol or their insurance or their other stuffs.
Yeah. No, we have to have support and backings, because this is not a two-rand job.
No, it's not even it's hell of expensive. So the navigation in Dakar is different to what we run here. We've got very much point-to-point and tulip picture stories.
Yes. You still got the same tulips. It's just now on I would call it an iPad. So you've got different iPads in the vehicle. Not all of them run
slightly different language.
Slightly different language. Everything is in French, but that you get you get given that. So it's a language that you need to learn, and it's a global thing that you need to do. And even the cross-country series are leaning on towards that language, so it's easier for us going over there and start doing it.
I saw the supplementary regs came out earlier this week, I think it was, and that one page with all the
tulips,
pictures, tulips. I looked through it very quickly and I said, hold on a minute, I've been seeing a lot of these in Dakar, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
So in French, left is gash and right is something?
No.
So all the French people, tell Andrew what left is and what right is, and Andrew, Google the thingy. Have you got any questions there?
To do with my life. No, we've got some interesting news on our competitions, but at the moment everything else is quiet. Just there was one question of saying, would Century ever convert their cars to 4x4?
It's a completely different vehicle.
It's completely different vehicle. Yeah, it would be a whole other thing.
Yeah. So you've got the peoples sit here, then the engine, then the gearbox, if this is the back. And in the bakkie, the engine is here and the people sit just about on top of it, and the gearbox is at the back. So different story, different class. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the balance of performance or the diameter of the inlet diameter goes for the Centuries going forward. There is a move. There is a move with the FIA where they apparently want to make a separate two-wheel drive class, but Julian from Century is fighting hard against that, because you want to go and fight for the lead. You don't want to win classes.
And we've got such a healthy championship, and the South African Cross Country Championship. I mean, there's 20 FIA cars.
Yeah.
And they're building new cars for other cars, other new competitors for Class T to start racing in, and then grow into the FIA class.
It is unbelievably
It's a good show. It's a really good show.
Andrew, you said you had something else.
Okay, so left is gosh, and right is Breut. So there you go. Or as Cassie Kruger says, le left and le right.
Your side or my side? That's better, eh? Just point away. It always works.
Yeah.
Go left. Go left.
That side, your side.
Right, we're getting on in time. You guys just carry on. But you know what? There's so many. I wanted to talk about the trust you put in as a co-driver, that you put in a driver. Now, we saw that you were out earlier, or late last year, with another driver, coaching them. How do you decide who you're going to sit with and who you won't sit with?
It's such a difficult question, Colin. I mean, as we see on this year's Dakar, there was a fight in the car, and that's why the car is not racing. So you have to choose. You have to choose your person that you sit next to. From a driver's perspective and the navigator's perspective, you have to get along. You have to get along. It's a marriage in the car, basically.
And you also need to understand each other when you get the mooring.
Very well. You need to know. Before I say something, my driver needs to know what I'm going to say, and also the way that I'm saying it, he needs to know if he can trust me or not. You know, if I'm sure or not sure. So, and that
and little
only
things
happens
in your
with
voice.
time.
And the minute
100%.
that trust is broken, when he starts doubting you, the whole level of confidence goes, and a crash is coming.
Correct, 100%. If you go flat out and you're not listening to your navigator, you will crash. You will crash.
Now, I've listened to you long enough. I want to listen to somebody else.
Well, is it a previous driver of mine, or is it you see the friendships are still there.
Away. Okay, now we're back. Now I want to listen to you again. No, we're waiting. There's a connection issue between us and somebody we want to talk to. I think that I really, really want to talk to this guy because he's got such a smile and always enthusiastic, and he does a bloody good job. So that, you also have to build some kind of thing where it doesn't become personal, where, oh, you cost us 5 minutes because you told me to go there.
That will ruin the marriage. That will absolutely ruin the marriage. It's definitely a trust building thing, and then also it's teamwork. Remember, there's not an I in team. So, and for everything that we do, it's we did this mistake, or we chose to do this route. It's always a we.
And it's little bits of language.
100%.
Even when you're not...
100%.
I mean, like Lance, okay, clearly Lance was two-timing on you with the electrics car in England.
Yes.
But how good was he, hey?
He was amazing. He was amazing. He did a proper job there.
Exactly. He arrived, not a lot of time in the car, and their eyes just went, woo, where's this little lighty come from?
So just to give you viewers a little bit of insight, so Lance Woolrich, my cross-country driver, he went to Extreme E and did the electric cars thing. So what you do is you do 2 qualifyings, and then the fastest qualifier choose the position, and then you go 3 cars, and then there's 2 races, and then there's also a scratch race or the crazy race. And then the race, with the crazy race, one of those 5 cars can go into the race one. Race 1 is 2 winners, and race 2 is 2 winners, and the crazy race 1, and then you get an overall winner. So he went in the race 1, he was extremely quick, so he lost time. He was
quick, and then he
was on Sebi Loeb's back, and then he hit a bump, and obviously the steering got out of his hand, and then he fell apart about 10 seconds, and he made up 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
I looked at that, and it was mind-blowing. Donnie Stassen is joining us. Sorry.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Donnie Stassen, we've been battling for a while. Donnie, so lekker to see you, and well done on what I think is a brilliant performance so far.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Are you...
I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Yes, I've
Perfectly.
got you. We can hear you absolutely perfectly.
Nice.
Have you got Shamir with
We
you?
had some. He's just outside with a meeting quickly.
Okay, cool. Because it's your briefing time now. Tell us about your day today.
Yes, I actually gave Alvina a brief description of the day earlier. And I must say it was almost one of the toughest days for us. You know, we had such a good rhythm going the last 3 days that it just felt so good. And today was very tough navigation, very dusty, a rough, proper Dakar stage, which brought us down to our knees again. And but I think tomorrow we'll come back stronger.
You know, we've watched your progress through the race, climbing up in the overalls. And from your point of view, you've got to be kind of sitting back and thinking, lekker, we're actually achieving something and quietly proud of your performance.
Absolutely. You know, before we got on the plane, you know, in my wildest dreams, I would have thought to actually end the stage tied for 6th, which we did the other day. You know, that was just an unbelievable achievement, especially for my first Dakar try, you know, as a navigator. So I learned so much this last 8 or 10 days, which it's just unbelievable.
You know, that kind of experience is going to rub off when you come and race in South Africa again. And when you go back next year, you've got all of that experience and you've got the relationship.
Hi, Shamir. You there?
I'll give him one, yeah.
Shamir.
That's taking the co-driver and driver partnership back
Teamwork,
down to the interview.
nice. That's a marriage, eh? It's a marriage.
Teamwork makes it teamwork. Shamir, thank you very much for joining us and congratulations on what we see as a stunning performance so far in Dakar 2022.
Yeah, thanks. We're trying and we're giving it our best. Not to say it didn't come with some problems. It has come with some problems in the first couple of days, but we're dealing with it and we just keep on taking it day by day.
You've got, today I saw a comment, you had brake issues where the brakes were going away again.
Yeah, we've been struggling with the brakes from the start, and we get it right 1-2 days and then it fades again. And, you know, like today we really needed a good brakes in the high-speed sections and in the rough sections as well. And, you know, when you don't have the confidence in the braking, then you're just not on the pace anymore, you know.
And how's the relationship with driver, co-driver, navigator, steering wheel operator going in the car there?
Look, it was
Interesting.
it was interesting. The first, obviously, it's done his first Dakar, so the first couple of days he had to get used to the road books and the waypoints and navigating with cap headings and stuff like that. So it took a bit of adjustment, and once you probably seen that the stage time started increasing and getting better. That's actually when the communication between myself and Danny actually got better in the car, and now I think he's got it dialed in now.
And Donnie, is your driver dialed in?
Absolutely. You know, he's so negative to go to the dunes, but he's become a dune specialist this last couple of days. Unreal. He's unreal in the dunes. So I must say, I must take my hat off for him, especially in the sand.
Now, tomorrow you've got a lot of loose sand, we believe. What's the plan of attack for tomorrow?
Well, you know, we've been making up a lot of places in the dunes because on the high-speed stuff, everyone's sitting at 170 kilometers an hour. And there's you can't really make up time because everyone's sitting flat out. Where we've been getting good times is in the technical terrain, sort of where we used to in like the Botswana sort of thing. And in the dunes, we've been making up a lot of places. So I'm not too happy with racing in the dunes, but like Danny says,
we got it sort of dialed in, and tomorrow we just need to attack that dune section. I think it's about 80 or 70 kilometers of dunes. We're gonna give it our best, because tomorrow is probably our second last day that we can make up overall positions. We're trying to break into that 12th, 13th, 12th, 11th position, and we're gonna give it our all. Every day we treat it like a new race, and we just go for it.
Donnie, from a co-driver's point of view, what are the big, if you had to have like a breakthrough point where, you know, you go into this whole new thing and that's everything is like scrambled eggs all over your face and inside your glasses and all of that, and then something goes click and it clears up. What was that click for you that cleared it all up?
Yes, it's so interesting to find that click. I mean, that first couple of days you are literally, I would say, underwater. But, you know, after the third, fourth day, the click actually came on when you actually learn to navigate with the caps, and you can start calling it like a GPS track, you know, in terms of the degrees. And that gives the driver, you know, absolute confidence to get into a higher gear, in some, you know, certain corners and slower and faster terrain. So, you know, getting the navigation to a point to match the pace of the car, that was very important.
So it sounds like your confidence has grown a lot as your knowledge has grown, and that seems like it's rubbing off on Shamir and giving him confidence it just builds in the car, which gives you speed.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
100%.
Shamir, I see you've got your motorhome is absolutely fantastic. Is it in ranking in size? Because there always is a contest, the motorhome contest in Bivouac. Roughly, where are you? Where's your ranking on the motorhomes race?
I think we're living quite comfortable here in the Dakar. We just had the people from Toyota here today come and have a look at it.
But it's actually quite important to have that level of comfort so you can get proper rest, so you can go and perform in the car.
No, undoubtedly, you know, when we did the recce in 2018 when I did the recce in Peru, with regards to how we were going to attempt the Dakar, my first Dakar, and we said, okay, what's the most important thing for everyone? I said, you know, you need to be comfortable. Number one, that's the most important thing. And this is why we opted to go this route. So, you know, the co-drivers, they can, before the electronic road book, you know, they had to work till 10, 11 o'clock at night preparing their road books. So we made everything, I mean, we've done everything in this motorhome basically to make us comfortable over the next 12 days or 13 days of the Dakar. And yeah, I think Danny's got a presidential suite on the top of the motorhome, so he's living quite good.
Well, you've got to look after him, eh?
No, I'm treating him quite nice, and I even make him coffee every morning.
And breakfast.
But in this race, while you've been talking, I've just had a quick little look at the times there, and in 12th position, 3 hours 27 behind. 13th is 3 hours 43. You guys on 3:44.12, and then King Carlos behind you on 3:44.40, and Brian behind you on 3:45. So it's one mood of a tight race there.
Yeah, you know, let me tell you something. I think, you know, compared to the previous Dakars that we've done, the guys now, you know, it's flat out or nothing. That's basically how it goes right now. We looked at our position and we said, okay, we need to creep forward, but we also need to worry about the guys behind us. And today we lost a lot of time with the brake issue and a few other things. So yeah, we got to worry about guys behind us. So yeah, it's you know, anything can happen. We're gonna give it our all. We're quite comfortable in the car. We're quite how can I say?
We found our feet.
We found our feet, and
Just look at that smile he's got there.
Yeah.
That level of
enthusiasm.
That is
You cannot
Donnie.
take
You can
that
see
away
that's
from
confident
him.
Donnie.
That's amazing.
Not
no,
nervous Donnie like you were at the
Danny's
airport.
positive.
Eh?
Danny, you know what I must say is. He's very positive at all. I mean, even when we have problems, he's very positive, and that helps a lot in the car. With regards to the pace, I mean, we were for us when we started off the Dakar. Yes, like I said, we were finding our feet, and eventually, as soon as we clicked in the car with his navigating and stuff and calling like stuff, immediately the pace just came. And I mean, you can see some of the days we were running top 10 splits most of the time, and that's just purely because Danny's navigation was exceptional and his calling was exceptional, and that gave me the confidence to keep it flat out over blind crests, which we would not do in the Dakar.
Well, to both of you, I've got to say, take my hat off and say super congratulations. It's been a very, very impressive performance. Good luck for the remaining 2 stages. And just keep it going, keep smiling. And we're very, very proud of you, Donnie Stassen and Shamir Variawa. And thank you so much for persevering in getting that connection to come and talk to us. So I really, really do appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for putting us on the show.
Yeah.
And talking to us, and yeah, now we need fingers crossed, and we need positivity for the next 2 stages.
We're definitely behind you all the way. We're watching your times as they go, so we got your backs.
And lots of support coming through on the social media, guys. They want to see a Gazoo 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no pressure there either. But everybody's behind you and wishing you everything of the best.
Yeah, you take all our luck.
We're trying our best. We're giving it our all.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night's rest.
Thanks.
And be fast, be safe, and have fun tomorrow.
Cheers, guys.
Right. Bye.
Cheers. Hey, how cool is that?
No.
You actually, as a guest organizer, Elvine,
Organised a guest.
did quite well there, I think. Thank you.
You wouldn't get a more positive, more energetic, more humble oak as Donnie Stassen.
Yeah.
He's a genuine oak. He's a genuine oak.
We spoke to him at the airport, and I've spoken to him quite a bit through the season, but he was nervous, and like at the airport, he was really...
Remember, it's his first Dakar, and he's been watching Dakar since he was a small little boy, because we grew up together. So we shared a pillow, basically, when we went out for weekends with the family and stuff. We shared a bedroom, me and Dainkie, when we were 8 years old.
Yeah.
So we raised quads together, we dig holes together. So with Dainkie we grew up watching Dakars. We had VHS tapes that recorded Dakar, and we would rewind and watch them again, because our families grew up doing Dakar, or not doing Dakar, watching Dakar. And so this is a bucket list #1 thing for him. And just before the race as well, he gave me a call, and he was pouring his heart out, just how incredible it was with a legend like Janelle de Villiers when he went testing in the dunes, and Janelle took Dainkie and they went into the dunes, and Janelle stopped for a selfie, and Janelle took his phone out and said, "Kom Dainkie, kom ons neem 'n foto." That moment, Dainkie said, "I was watching this oak racing Nissans around the track. This is a big moment for him." So it's stuff like that, small little things that Dainkie appreciates.
To be part of Toyota Gazoo, and it's not Toyota Gazoo South Africa anymore. This is Toyota Gazoo. It's
international,
a global thing.
Yes.
To be part of that whole operation, it's a seriously professional team.
Yeah. It's amazing what Lynn did with this team. It's amazing. So, and getting the South Africans involved and getting these oaks to Dakar and giving them an opportunity, because once you did Dakar once, you'll go back again.
And people look, it's a world championship event now.
Yes.
And teams are looking, people are looking, and as it gets more and more competitive, everybody's looking at talent. And
Yes.
when you show talent,
Yes, 100%.
you get onto the list, and then you've got to perform properly all the time. And as a rookie co-driver, I'd love to do an analysis on time lost through navigation.
So I said to my husband the other day, they spend so much time and money and drivers, but there's no real navigation school or training or thing that they do not spend as much time and energy on a navigation.
So the drivers go testing
But
with the
when
car.
you get there and they lose 2 hours, now it becomes a problem, because now your win is taken from you because of navigation. They should focus, or a part of the focus should be on navigation and get these stuff running and train these oaks on this new equipment that they are using, because something can go wrong, and in that instant you need to be relaxed and you need to know what's going on,
And
rather than
it's
hitting a panic. 100%. But that only comes with training and experience.
That word experience comes up again and
100%.
again. Carlos Sainz, 54, what? Nasser Al-Attiyah, 50 to turn 50 a while ago. Janelle is over 50.
Yes.
The Toppies, they're still...
No, you can still go there. You can still go there.
But they've been driving for so long, and you look at someone like Henk and Brett.
Yes.
What a future those two have got.
Toyota must look carefully after them as well. I think Henk will have a couple of people approaching him after this race.
I wouldn't be surprised if
but
they've
kudos
already
to
made
him.
this
I think our South African drivers are so good. I mean, you've got Henk, you've got the Van der Lindes, you've got, Lance in the Extreme E. There's so many of us.
And the Peppers as well.
And the Peppers, there's them again.
And both.
I mean,
Taz
even
and
on
Storm.
bikes, you've got, your BBs.
Woodendahl.
Yes.
And others. We're running out of names.
Quick question for Alvin, just on that topic. Alvin, how tricky was it to switch from the rally navigation to the cross-country navigation?
Quite easy.
Okay.
So it's just a flip. It's just a flip that you do in your head, and you just need to get accustomed to the different notes set aside of you, and then you do it. With the rally, it's more intense and there's more homework, like when me and Leroy raced rally and won the championships. A week prior or a weekend prior to the event, you got your in-car footage, or the recce, as they did with the video, and then you make your own pace notes. So we used to spend the whole weekend before the race, that's 17, 18 hours of doing notes together, and then still on the event you still got a recce, and then you record it again yourself in your own car that you're driving it, and then we sit that night and we go through the notes, and we still make changes to go faster. Where in cross country you don't, because there's no onboard footage, or you don't know the road, and it's changing all the time. Even if what we used to do, I've got data on my computer since I started, because all the rallies, once you've did a stage, you'll probably do it next year again. So we revert back to that in-car footage and see what we did right or we did wrong, and we brought back that bucket of knowledge to this year's race, which in cross country you don't. So that's why everybody can compete, because not everybody has got 16, 17 hours to sit in front of a TV and do your notes. But with cross country, it's just a flip. It's so much easier to do, basically. But it's also a surprise when you arrive at stuff, and you need to quite think on your feet. Yeah.
Great answer, thank you.
We also have, we're running so over time, we may as well just, in 6, we'll just keep going and make it a long one, not a short one. We have an updated clip from Nasser Al-Attiyah.
A surprise one.
It's a complete surprise. So brace yourselves. Here it comes.
Okay. And I got Nasser Al-Attiyah leading the 2022 Dakar Rally. So how has it been, Nasser?
Yeah, it's been very good, and really we start strong, from day one, and we have a good lead, and then we start day by day, and we until the rest day we was 45 minutes, and then just we continue after the rest day, just to think, you know, how to manage every day without any problems, you know. Yeah, we are on day 10. Still left 2 stages from Dakar. We are quite happy, and we are quite happy, you know. This is the noise, yes. Yeah, it's a beautiful sound. Yeah, we are happy, you know, to have the performance, and tomorrow, day 11, will be really difficult day, not easy, you know, because everybody says the difficult stage in Dakar. But okay, we try just to manage in good speed, and tomorrow it will be for us, I hope, normal day.
Sure. And tell me something about, you know, this year, will you be coming back to South Africa?
Yes, of course. I love to do the race. Last year I did Paris.
Yes.
Yes, it was fantastic, you know. And then I am sure, you know, the team will ask me, you know, to come to do some race. But also we are busy with the world champion. You know, this is this year it's a new championship, yes, and include Dakar, you know, and it will be great, you know, to win this for first time. But I am sure I will come to South Africa.
Good. Thanks, Nasser.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I've got to say a massive thank you to Elvine, number 1, to Leroy, number 2, and to Nasser. Thank you very much. You've just added so much. You come as a guest, you organize another interview for us, plus you get a recording of Nasser, and we see Leroy's pretty face again. Have you got any more surprises for us?
It's Leroy. You can ask him anything and he'll do it. That's that marriage in the car that you will never part of. You know, with Leroy, he's such a phenomenal person. And to go back and work on Janelle's car as a technician, you know, and sorting and helping Glenn, it's such strength from his side to go back to Dakar. And I really hope that one day he'll get back in the car.
I mean, if it wasn't for his the medical thing, he would have been in that team.
Oh, yes.
And he would have won Dakar already.
Oh, yes, for sure. For sure. No, I rate that Leroy, I rate him as high as possible, because he's just a phenomenal person, and he learns, and he transfer that knowledge. He did with me. He transferred that knowledge onto me, and that's why we were, you know, unstoppable team at that time.
You guys were blooming amazing. Do you miss the rally stuff? I mean, you're doing really well in the cross country, or is it just another part of your growth into where you are now? And
what I did quite enjoy was driving a sprint race with Jaden Elf the other day. So, and then what I found myself doing was I was transferring my knowledge onto Jaden, helping him succeed and winning a championship. So that's also quite, you know, lekker.
So why, from the knowledge you've got, and there were lots of little things that I've picked up that you've shared in different things, like when you do your, you know, watch for this little flower and the bloom over there, and don't always try and break over here. Be aware of the scenery looks like. Why don't you have a co-driver's school?
I should. Actually, I should. I'm so busy at work and trying to make money. But one day I will. I quite enjoy it, so I might just do that.
Awesome. Now that leads us to, we nearly finished. I had to mention car number 239. These motorbike oaks think they're Muraba fancy because they've got a MotoGP rider doing their riding things, number 90, Mr. Quintanilla. But car 239 is Carlos Checa. Those of you who remember will know Carlos Checa, the famous MotoGP and 500cc rider, which probably were wilder and faster and more wickeder than a current MotoGP race. He's only got 73 hours penalties, but he's still in the race. The trucks, I told you, the Russians are coming: Sotnikov, Nikolaev, and Shibalov, and then Koganov. And then the first of the Van der Horns, Kasterin, Van den Brinke, and Versteineman, Olfant de Holland, and then Richard de Groot in 9th in the Arvico. So basically Kamaz is smacking Arvico, but apparently Arvico will be back. Tomorrow it's Bisha to Bisha, it's a loop. They have a short liaison, 87 Ks, 346 of racing, and then another 68 liaison. So they're going to be finished nice and early. So hopefully we'll be able to, with some cooperation from some people that we may know who know people there, hopefully get a bucket load more of interviews. Soft sand, it's going to be hectic. Bear in mind, excuse me, on Friday is stage 12 liaison, 516 kilometers. The Oaks are Mull, and then 164 Ks of racing. So we had our competition, how many Dakars has Hall Speed competed in for our book. We believe that we have a correct answer, but we consulted with Mr. Hall of Hall Speed last night, who gave us an answer which was contradicted by our research department. And our research department is adamant that they are correct, so they will consult with Mr. Hall again tonight for verification of the answer, and we will take Glyn's answer as the number before we award the prize. So if you're still feeling confident, list the years, if possible the drivers,
got one.
And so you can get there. Elvine, it's been a massive pleasure having you in the studio with us again.
It's
thank
a pleasure.
you very much.
Thank you for the invite, as always. I'm happy to be here.
You add value, you brighten my day, and I learn something every time we talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Colin.
And to Hondog, thank you for all your hard work. Have I forgotten anything?
No, I am quite confident that we have got a winner in our competition.
Well,
I will pass that information on, and you can verify it for me.
Well,
and let's see.
Research department. I'm independent.
I've
not
put
getting
all the
involved in
relevant people in copy. Let's put it that way.
Awesome, lovely. Just leaves me to thank Fritz and Peter Lamage and Henk for all their hard work and bearing with us as we go. And to you who've stayed watching, it's been 93 minutes of absolute fun and joy for me. Thank you for watching. And remember, tomorrow we'll start auctioning Rob's overall. Go and sell all your gooders. Auction the kids. Get them, do something. Find bucket loads of money, because this is a proper gift. Be good, be nice, be happy. And remember, commit a random act of kindness. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Cheers.